1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Yes, sir! It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportsstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, your host from 12 to 2. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This show, again, goes till 2 o'clock. It is sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Carl Schoening producing this show and my co-host. What's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Nostalgia, huh?
Yeah,
we just live in the constant age of nostalgia now, don't we?
Dude, when you get to be my age, 44 years old, things become nostalgic, man. I mean, I get to relive life twice sometimes through the eyes of my kids. It's so much fun, man. But again, obviously, we'll be talking sports. The Alabama Crimson Tide, they went down last night. Georgia Bulldogs took them out in the national title game. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Cowboys. Two of the Cowboys coordinators are wanted by the Denver Broncos, so we'll be getting into that. Spurs are on a big home stretch coming up, man. They lost to the Knicks last night. We'll get into that. It's a very important stretch for the Spurs there because the rodeo road trip's coming up next month. And because of that, this stretch right here may determine whether or not they make that play-in tournament. So again, that's at 12:30. At 1:30, guess what's going digital? Spider-Man No Way Home. There's a release date. Let's talk about this. Would you rather watch these movies at home, or is it better still going to the theaters? But the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are open at 656 ESPN. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Search San Antonio Sports Star. Like and subscribe. You can leave a comment or two. We'll be happy to read them off. But, man, I'm going to let you know something, Carl. I'm kind of spazzing out right now. I read something a few minutes ago that really startled me, and I'm a little bit frazzled right now. So we were in a meeting. We had a San Antonio Sports Star meeting, and we were all huddled together. It was Rob, it was Jason, it was Ryan Eagle, Pledger, Carl, me, Rudy J. We were all together in this meeting, and my phone buzzed me, and it was an alert saying you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I had kidney stones last year, and I had kidney stones the year before that. So the hospital called me, University Hospital, and said, hey, you probably need to see a urologist. And I thought nothing of it. Okay. I said, yeah, go ahead and schedule that meeting, schedule that appointment. And they said, oh, we'll schedule it for January 12th. So I got an alert on my phone saying that it's scheduled for tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. And I made the mistake before the show starts. I made the mistake of Googling what to expect at your first urology appointment. And let me read to you what I just read, okay? It says, your first urology appointment, the doctor will perform a male genital exam during the first appointment. They will examine your urinary tract region. The physician will perform a genital exam and digital rectal exam to explore the prostate. The urologist may evaluate other areas as well. So I read that for the first time about 10 minutes ago. Rudy J and Joe Reinagel are in the booth with me as I'm reading this. And oh my God, they are trying to scare me. They're like, oh, is Mr. Jellyfinger coming out this week? I mean, is Mr., for a prostate exam? Now they're asking me, hey, they're going to stick certain things up, what? And I am freaking out, Carl.
You know that you're going to come in limping tomorrow, right?
I'm going to come in and I'm going to be on the floor in a fetal position, freaking out because of all this, because, man, this is not something that I was mentally prepared for. Again, I scheduled this appointment 2 or 3 months ago after I had my kidney stones. I think I had my kidney stones the beginning of November. So I scheduled this 2 months later, and things have been better. I have not had any issues since, but now I'm scared, man. I mean, I have every right to be scared. And what was that last comment that someone reached out on Facebook?
I don't know if you get the reference to the Drake story, but he's going to put some hot sauce in you.
No, what is that?
To get it as quickly as possible, Drake hooked up with an Instagram model, and he removed the condom and threw it out and put hot sauce in the condom garbage to kill all the sperm. and then she went into the restroom after him and tried to put the residue of the condom in her.
This show has gone off the rails.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it was a conversation that we could not have at 7:45, but we decided to have at 7:45 on R&R this morning, and they had to change it up for the kids getting dropped off for school.
You simply could have said, pass on that topic and just move along.
No, that's the story of the day. But that's what's going on right now.
But man, I am so frightened right now because again, my urology appointment's tomorrow, and then I'll probably be done with it. What do you think? Okay, if it's scheduled for 8:30, that means they're not really going to see me till about 9:15, which means I'll be coming here fresh from that appointment. So everybody, wish me luck. Prayers are welcomed. Well wishes. You can reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at Mike ESPN SA. Carl, it's at Carl ESPN. Carl with a K. But man, everyone, say a little prayer for me, man.
Yeah, you're going to be coming in speaking a higher octave tomorrow. You're going to lose a little bass in that voice. I get the feeling.
I mean, do I eat before? I mean, do I?
Oh, those are questions you have to ask your doctor. You don't want them to do all that stuff and find out you ate, and then we got to do it again in 2 weeks.
Man, and there are certain tests that they say that you're supposed to take at 50, like prostate exams, and then they go, well, it could be 40. Could be 50, depends on family history. But when I have so many uncles and aunts and cousins, I think I one time counted the number of first cousins I have at over 70. And the fact of the matter is that I could go all around town and bump into cousins, wouldn't know who any of them are. Because I know maybe only about 10 or 15 of them very well, or at least well enough. But man, welcome back to halftime of the San Antonio Sports Star. Again, you may want to reach out to us tomorrow, see how I'm doing when the show starts. I usually belt out, it's, yes, sir. It might be high pitched tomorrow.
It'll probably be that, or maybe just a little whimpery. It's all good. Everybody's got to do it at some point. I hope when it's time for my colonoscopy, they have some sort of like digital X-ray, so I don't have to get the camera up the other side.
Exactly. Stephen Canto on Facebook says vasectomy ? My wife has asked about that, but you know what? I don't think I can ever do it.
Why?
I don't think I can ever do it because I have 2 former coworkers and one of my best friends who had botched vasectomies.
Ooh.
And I remember having a coworker who was walking through the office and it was just having a pleasant conversation with people and just instantaneously just collapsed. It was just in pain. Like it just came out of nowhere. And one of my best friends had an issue with that as well. So yeah, man, I don't think I can ever do that.
I can understand that. There's that's the beauty of the future. We're getting towards other alternatives to that as well. So, and they can reverse themselves. Vasectomies don't seem worth it.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
But you already have 3 kids.
Yeah, I know, but it's one of those things where, I mean, come on, man, I'm Latino. There's always room for one more. And if my wife is listening to this right now at University Hospital, I'm probably going to be on the couch tonight. But yeah, welcome to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. We go from 12 to 2 against sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Just fun talk, man. Fun talk. I'd like to say it's bar talk. We had a lot of bar talk last night for the national title game, Georgia against Alabama. The entire San Antonio Sports Star was at the Rue Pub except for one person, that person being Carl. Explain yourself.
I was here at around 5:30 in the morning, and I was out of here at around 6:30 in the evening. I decided to, say 13 hours straight. I'm going to just go ahead and go home and watch the Spurs game and pass out after. So I watched some of the national championship game, but I hit the most boring parts of the national championship game, and it became a thriller after I went to bed. So anybody who enjoyed anything that I didn't see, you can thank me because I was like the kiss of death until I stopped watching, and then it turned a great game.
This felt like a New Orleans Saints game because I'm a big Saints fan. It was 9-6 at halftime. It felt like a Saints game because the Saints could not score touchdowns most of this season, and they're trying to win defensively. But again, at halftime, Bama was up 9-6. It was a pretty boring game. We were basically telling each other, the first team to score a touchdown is probably going to win. But then all of a sudden the floodgates opened and ultimately Georgia won 33-18. It was a very exciting finish. It ended on a pick 6. I mean, it was a one-possession game with under 2 minutes to go. Bama driving, looking like they have a legitimate shot of tying the game. It was a one-possession game. They were down by 8, and man, that pick six happened, and James Pledger was freaking out. He was so pissed off. He was so pissed off. He was cheering for Bama. But how can you cheer for Bama, man? That's like, I mean, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but isn't that like cheering for Darth Vader? Isn't that the Death Star? I mean, who wants to cheer for a team that is always there, always in the hunt? I mean, that was what Nick Saban's ninth. He's 7-2. That was Nick Saban's ninth appearance in the championship, one with LSU and the other 8, I believe, with Alabama. It's boring, man. It's absolutely boring. Why do we even have a season when we know that Bama is going to be in the finals at all points? And yes, they were one of the top teams in college football this year. But I mean, you can make the argument that had they lost the SEC championship game, they probably shouldn't have been in the playoff at that point.
And that's the thing. They kept proving that they should be in the conversation, and it came down to the fourth quarter to decide that Alabama was not going to be the champion. And that's okay. Yeah, that's sort of the fun thing about sports. I don't think that it's necessarily the most exciting if you're somebody who's a fan of parody, but think about all those times the Boston Celtics won the championship in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I know that NASCAR had a big string of dominance by one guy for the longest time. I don't know his name, but while that excellence is happening, it's exciting for at least the people who enjoy watching winners do dominant things. Tom Brady is one of those guys that I think it's enjoyable to watch Tom Brady, but that's because my Eagles are 1-1 against them in the Super Bowl.
Well, those are level playing fields. Man, Tom Brady plays in a level playing field where there's equal access to players and there's a salary cap. The same thing can be said about the NBA. I mean, people were tired of the Spurs being relevant for so long, making 6 NBA finals appearances. People hated that. But at least it's a level playing field. The NFL's been a level playing field since 96, 97. And it was back in the day. We're talking about how the Cowboys are playing the 49ers this upcoming weekend in the playoffs. And it's like, oh, that's a great heyday back to the 90s when the Cowboys had their run, when the 49ers had their run. But guess what? That was an arms race. Those two teams outspent everybody. It was like the Yankees in baseball. That's why I can't watch baseball so often, because we have one team that has 5 times the salary of another team. It doesn't make sense. It's not a fair competition at all. There's going to be a stray team like the Devil Rays or the Rays rather, who come out and win from time to time, or a Marlins team that sneak up and win. But more often than not, it's going to be a big name, Dodgers, Yankees. And back in the day in the NFL, it was Cowboys and 49ers because they outspent everybody. The salary cap was instituted. Cowboys won one more Super Bowl. The first year there was a salary cap, Cowboys won the Super Bowl. But since then, haven't done anything. They haven't done anything because it's a level playing field. Now, Alabama, I guess you can say it's a level playing field in the sense that college, everyone has equal access to these players. But the fact of the matter is that the best of the best want to go play for Saban. The best of the best want to go to the SEC. And because of that, it makes it an uneven playing field in a way, because the deck is stacked in favor of Alabama because that's where the best want to go to.
That makes sense, and that's really what it comes down to. It's the same thing with Kentucky in basketball. You want to go to the place that prepares you best to become a multimillionaire in the future, right? So if somebody gets hurt on Alabama, they're just going to be replaced with a 4-star.
Mm-hmm.
Our 5-star recruit went down. We have a 4-star freshman recruit out there that would probably be tearing it up pretty much anywhere else in the country. So you're never going to, I guess, be able to fix that, because I don't think they'll ever institute a college salary cap.
No.
But I would say that that's almost the fun thing about teams being good for long, is when are they going to finally fall off? I felt like the storyline every year from probably 2006 and on, it's like, oh, this is probably the year the Spurs take a step back.
Well,
every year they tried to make that argument, and the Spurs went until what, like 2018.
Well, this is where I feel old, because it used to be that people would want to go to the schools that they cheered for. If you were a UT fan growing up, you wanted to go to UT. If you were OU fan, go to OU. And the players aren't like that anymore. They're more like mercenaries. They want to go where they can win, right? And it's like that with the NBA now. LeBron James kind of ushered that in where, Tim Duncan was one of the last of being that player who was with that team for his entire career. I mean, Giannis, I guess, is probably the modern example of that. But you didn't see Magic Johnson test free agent waters and Larry Bird and all of these guys. It was one of those things where we were going to beat you, not we were going to come together and collectively win. That's why I've never really respected Kevin Durant's ring because, I mean, he joined a 73-win team, right? And these players are colluding with each other to do that. Whether it be LeBron when he was in Miami, whether LeBron now in LA, it's not fun anymore because they're not competitors. They want to get the easiest way to a win as opposed to working for that win. And that's why I'll never consider LeBron to be the GOAT. I don't. He stacked the deck in his favor. And college football is very much that way. Alabama gets the best, and everyone else kind of feasts on what's left. I mean, I spoke to the quarterback over at Brennan High School, who was the high school player of the year here in San Antonio. Guess where he wants to go? He wants to go to Alabama. Why? Because he's one of the best quarterbacks around. The best want to go where the best teams are, and it would be so much fun to see a quarterback like that, play for a Big 12 school or play for a UTSA or whoever they cheered for. But I mean, it's just I guess players are different, man. It's just a different time. But last night it was interesting because Georgia basically came back and Georgia was built on defense this year, and their quarterback Stetson Bennett was a walk-on a few years ago. And it's a great story to see that he was a walk-on. He went to some JUCO, came back, made his way as a starter, and then led this team to the national title. And people were criticizing him because before the game started, he was saying, this team, it is not my job to carry this team to a championship, which is not what you don't necessarily hear that from quarterbacks. Now, Alabama, has the Heisman winner in Bryce Young, and he's thinking, I got to carry my team. And that's not what Georgia was doing. Georgia was a well-balanced team. And I've said this before, which is why I think the Cowboys have a chance of making the NFC Championship game because you are either quarterback-driven or defense-driven. And he knew his role, man. Stetson Bennett knew his role was to limit the mistakes and let the defense do what it do. And that defense kept them in. And when Stetson Bennett finally got some deep passes going, got some big receptions down the stretch, it opened up, and the fact of the matter is that defense was so suffocating that Alabama could not get the points on the board that they needed to win this game.
Yeah, and really that's been the MO all year long for Georgia. Is their defense can basically carry anybody to a championship game like that, and he knew that the real bread and butter was the defense. And like you were saying, if you're a Heisman winner, then and you say something like that, like I'm not going to carry the team to a championship, people's eyebrows might go up a little bit. But former walk-on, pretty much a game manager that knows how to make the right plays is much better than what you would probably expect somebody to say, you know what, it's a championship game. I'm going to maybe try and do some things that I'm not comfortable doing because I want to have a great game and win the MVP. But, play your role and everybody else plays their role, and you hope that the team is greater than the sum of its parts. That's the case.
Did you see the Georgia players that some of them were given the wrong hats?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they were given the hats that had Alabama's logo on there as opposed to their own. That's so funny because they're seen celebrating with a hat that says that. It reminds me of back in the day when the Spurs should have beaten the Heat back in 2013. The champagne was in the locker room, correct me if I'm wrong. It was in there, which means that somewhere there were hats that said Spurs 2013 NBA champions, and I guess they get destroyed, or where do they go?
I think they used to be destroyed, and now they go to countries that if they don't have social media, and I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
It's like third world countries that could use a shirt and hats.
Tell me the ethics involved around betting at a bar. Because yesterday, Pledger and I wanted to have some action on this game. And I was at the bar at Rue Pub, and I was like, you know what? Someone bet me $10. I need to have some action on this game. I want to have Georgia. And Pledger comes out and says, I'll bet you $10. which, by the way, Pledge, I'll take that in 2 5s, 10 1s. I don't care if it's 40 quarters. I'll take it either way. But I did not want to give up points. Georgia was favored by 2.5 points. When you are at the bar making a bet, or you're making a bet with a friend, do you do it just straight up, or do you do it with the spread?
I have had friends do both. It's, okay, he's going to. Well, I have one friend who give me 2-to-1 odds, and I have another friend who's like, no, we're doing straight up. So I actually, when it comes to friends, I will probably not bet them for the sake of my own wallet or theirs, but I will go with kind of what they're comfortable with, because throwing out odds and points, it usually throws off some people. It's like, I just want to put $50 on Alabama,
Exactly. Well, I felt bad because it was looking like at one point that Georgia could win this game by 1. So then I would have felt weird because I would have won the bet, but he was asking for the legit points. And I don't know if I would have taken that money. I think at that point, I would have just said, you know what? No. But because it was a double-digit win and it covered beyond covered with that pick six. I'm expecting 10 singles, or at least 2 tacos or 2 beers.
Pudge will find a way. I'm surprised he didn't square it out at the Rue last night.
Oh, well, by the time the game was over, it was time to go home, man. It was a long day. But
y'all stayed the whole time?
No, everyone left around the end of the third quarter. It was a boring game.
That's what I was saying. Like, I tried to watch the third quarter after the Spurs game because, just dedicated on it. And 13 hours of work just made me want to go to sleep instead.
Yeah, the fourth quarter was just me, Pledge, and one of our listeners, Jonathan C. He was out there. We were having it was a listener party. We were out there because the Blitz was on from 4 to 6 yesterday. But it was a boring game, but the fourth quarter was very, very exciting. But congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs, and congratulations to not only Georgia. It's one of those things about the state of Georgia, man. They've had a hard time, man. They tend to lose a lot. 28-3. Remember those Falcons? I was thinking that was going to happen again, but again, they got a little bit of revenge because Alabama beat Georgia for the national title 4 years ago. A little bit of revenge last night. Let's get some headlines in.
411 in the 2-1-0.
Oh, there you go.
Here's the 411.
There you go.
Double tap on accident.
2-1-0. Headline 2.
All righty. Well, Novak Djokovic holds a practice session while the prime ministers of Australia and Serbia speak on the phone about his disputed visa. Djokovic is the defending champ at the Australian Open. He held a practice session today on his second day out of detention while still facing the prospect of deportation because he is not vaccinated for COVID-19. The top-ranked Serbian player hit the show courts within hours of winning a legal battle on Monday of the cancellation of his visa based on procedural grounds. He returned Tuesday with a closed practice and doors locked, and only a support team allowed to the Rod Laver Arena.
Well, he won the battle for now, because aren't there other Australian officials who are trying to come up and say, no, we have to have this looked at again. It's a great battle here because you have the number one player in the world, arguably the greatest of all time in men's tennis, a 9-time champion at the Australian Open, trying to break records over there. And I'm fascinated by the story. And there's not going to be a winner or a loser when it comes to this, because if Novak Djokovic is allowed to play, it's a loser for that country because a precedent has been set. But if he's not allowed to play, it's a bad thing for that tour. It's a bad thing because, he's one of their greatest champions of all time. So it's a very weird standoff that's going on. If I had to bet it, I think next Monday when the tournament starts, he's playing.
You bring up the point that it comes down to a precedent being set, and I would imagine that there is something within this visa that is related to pro tennis that can be used as a loophole to prevent any other, I had COVID last month, I'm okay to go to Australia cases.
And there's a second player that's been in limbo. I need to find out. During the commercial break, I'm going to take a look to see what happened to that guy, because I bet you that guy's not going to be able to play just magically.
Makes sense. Give the privilege to the guy who's earned the privilege, right?
Yeah. Moving on.
Headline 1.
Will he play? The Panthers reportedly seeking an interview. Oh, that's from the previous one. Pudge wrote these up and handed them off to me. Panthers reportedly seeking to interview quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator Pep Hamilton for the offensive coordinator job. In his recent work in the NFL, between building up a pair of rookies and Justin Herbert for the Chargers and last year's Davis Mills for Houston, this year he has been incredibly well received, and the 47-year-old has established a track record of actually calling plays. Hamilton, a 24-year-old coaching career, includes a pair of stints as an offensive coordinator with Stanford University in 2011 and 2012, and the other with the Indianapolis Colts in 2013 and 2015. He joins Bill O'Brien, Jay Gruden, Kevin O'Connell as reported group of targets for the Panthers thus far.
Well, I mean, having a quarterback whisperer is a really good thing, but is this really for Sam Darnold? Is this for Cam Newton? Is this for somebody that they're going to draft this year? Because, I mean, why have a quarterback whisperer come in if you have no quarterback to rely on? Are those guys going to be the guy over there for the long term?
I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. So why is he being considered? Now, I like the fact that his name is being brought up maybe for other teams, because I don't like these retreads, man. These retreads that are coming back who were marginally successful, the Jason Garretts of the world coming back, that I get a little bit tired of. So I'm all about the new blood, the Bieniemy, the Leftwich. You know, I'm all about that. But I don't think this is the right match for him. And as we're talking about this earlier, by the way, the Denver Broncos want to reach out to Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore of the Cowboys. That's interesting as well, because this is the second team that has requested permission to speak. This is a better situation for them. And Dan Quinn, I got a feeling he's going to be gone, man.
It would only make sense after just terrible year last year for the Cowboys defense to be what they are this year.
Yeah.
You know, I understand Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs have been having phenomenal years, but you got to put that on coaching.
Oh, yeah, they got coached up. Beyond that, Dan Quinn has the experience as a head coach. There's a lot of openings this year. You know, Miami opened up, which shouldn't have opened up, man. That was terrible when they got rid of Flores yesterday. What were they doing? What were they expecting? That guy has had a winning record the past 2 seasons combined, won 7 games in a row. They lost 7 in a row this year, but because of a lot of injuries, a lot of openings out there. I don't think Kellen Moore goes anywhere ultimately, but Quinn, I think he's a goner.
I agree with you.
Headline 0.
Anthony Brown is off the COVID list while Diggs and Cooper attend the college football championship for the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy said the team's starters on the list, Micah Parsons, Tyron Smith, Jaron Kearse, should all be back by Thursday. Linebacker Keanu Neal, meanwhile, injured his arm and shoulder against the Eagles, but should return midweek. Tony Pollard is also expected to be ready after sitting out Week 18.
This is relatively perfect for the Cowboys. Again, we were talking about this last week. The opportune time for these guys to have a slight injury or go down because of COVID was last week, because not only did they have enough time to come back, but they also had some time to get a little bit of rest. It was a good idea. Now, I don't know if there's any lingering effects to the COVID issue going on with these guys, or if they were asymptomatic or whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is that the Cowboys are entering the playoffs relatively healthy, man, in good shape. And because of that, I am on record saying they're going to make the NFC Championship game this year. Not saying they're going to win it, but they're going to get further than they've been since the mid-90s.
Interesting decision for Trayvon Diggs and Amari Cooper to attend the college football championship, though, because Dak was pretty adamant that he didn't want any unnecessary risks. And I saw that, like, last week, a few players were out at the Dirk celebration, too, for the Mavericks. So
but
I guess you take your chances, roll your dice.
It's not like they shuttled them in and they have to go in through, like, general, like the general gates or anything like that. I mean, they have security. They have they're probably in contact with fewer people than the normal person going to a Mavericks game or to this game. I mean, normal people probably interact with hundreds or thousands of people that are around there. They have personalized or security areas that are relatively private. They're sitting at areas where it's easier access to. So I'm not really too upset about it.
I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying it's not the smartest thing to do when you have your biggest game of the season and COVID's been having players drop like flies.
Get it. I get it.
Well.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Well, the Spurs dropped a game last night to the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. A little bit upsetting because, they played so well against the Brooklyn Nets the morning before. The morning before was an 11 a.m. tip-off. But, it's one of those things where the Spurs are still lingering, still hanging around that 10 spot in the Western Conference. But, man, I was taking a look at the schedule today. They have a huge homestand, like a lot of home games the next 4 weeks. So we're going to talk about this, break down the upcoming opponents, and whether or not this is make it or break it time for the Spurs when it comes to making that play-in tournament. This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportsstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue and the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportsstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Get some great deals on a good night's rest. You're invited to save at Casper's biannual bedtime sale. Up to 50% off select mattresses, bedding, pillows, and more. You could save up to $1,000 on select mattresses and more savings on items like Casper's mattress topper, Perkel sheets, and foam pillow. Build the bedroom of your dreams for less. Enjoy up to 50% off select mattresses, bedding, and more on Casper.com. Exclusions apply. Items marked as final sale may not be returned or exchanged except in accordance with applicable warranty. See Casper.com/promo for details.
This whole wall needs to be shelving too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France. I mean, this is the biggest.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Matt Crowder live at the Shell station on 41st Street, reporting on the free gas app called Get Upside that's letting people all over the country earn cash back on every gallon of gas they buy. Excuse me, miss. Have you heard of the Get Upside gas app?
Of course. People are earning as much as $300 a year with the Get Upside app. It's so easy. Open the app to see nearby gas stations offering money back, pick the one you want, and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside gas app and earn up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder, Radio News Network.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to earn up to 25 cents a gallon cash back when you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY for a 50 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Get up to 75 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill up when you download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TODAY. Promo code TODAY.
My name is Sue. I'm 58 and I work with kindergartners. I've been overweight all my life. Over the years, my weight led to high cholesterol, joint pain, and body aches. Getting up and down with kids was hard. I couldn't sit on the floor without finding something to help me up. Once I got up, hip pain would prevent me from walking normally. I had heard the Institute for Functional Health commercials for a long time and thought, maybe this will help me. I called and met with Dr. Torres and immediately liked him. He was very personable. I can't explain it, but something finally clicked inside me. After being on his program, I lost 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I feel comfortable and am proud of myself. My husband and I have been married 25 years, and I'm now thinner than the day we met. My blood work is optimal, I'm active, better at my job, and I feel in control of my health. This has truly changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
Hey, remember how 20 years ago I switched to Progressive? Well, now it's the future, and I used all those savings to buy this new hologram phone. Because, it's the future, and everything is holograms now.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Upload a photo of what's on your grill and enter a description and recipe at sasportstar.com, and you could win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Winner chosen every Thursday at 6 on the Blitz. Again, a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market up for grabs. Welcome back to Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. Hey, Carl, earlier, I understand that on R&R in the morning, Rob and Rudy were talking about barbecuing and grilling.
Very in-depth. I started to lose what was going on in the conversation.
Now, everyone's been talking about it at the office today, that it was a great conversation, but I missed it. So what were they talking about?
They were talking about types of, ways to cook the, barbecue. There's apparently like an Instant Pot of barbecue and, like the work effort that goes into it, like, I don't know, 12-hour briskets.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. And then they told me I needed to get into grilling, and I let them know I have an apartment. So, it's frowned upon. I'd have to basically, anytime I want to use the grill, either go find one in the complex. I'm sure there might be one somewhere, or I can't have it on my patio. So I'd have to have the grill somewhere in my apartment and then pull it out to the patio whenever I want to use it.
Now, I don't mind cooking at home, but grilling, I mean, for a lot of people, it's a big passion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are certain things that guys do that is a passion for them. So I won't make fun of them for it. Okay. So whether it be, some people like fishing, some people like hunting, going to the gun range, some people like barbecuing, some people like cars. All of these things are great in the sense that it's a hobby. It's something that you can do, enjoy, and hang out with friends at. I get it. But you called grilling a job, a chore in many ways. I mean, you have to be passionate about it. And I don't have it, man. I honestly don't. And I will self-deduct man points about that. But it's one of those things where, I mean, that's hours at a time. That's a certain pride that I don't have. But if somebody wants to go fishing, I'd be more than happy to go. If somebody wants to go camping, yeah, I'll figure it out. I mean, it depends on how rough it is, but maybe I'll go do it. But it's like that, man. It's funny what people like to do for fun and they have passion for. I know people who go golfing 2 or 3 times a week, people who play poker 2 or 3 times a week. And it's just one of those things where I try to find a balance myself. My main focus right now is more around working out and health related stuff. Yes, I don't eat perfect or not at all. I mean, I'm better than what I used to be, but that's my passion right now. But if I was to get into grilling, that just seems like a lot of time, like a lot of effort going into it. And I would hate to put that time and effort in there and not be happy with the final product.
It seems to be a skill that you have to develop. I see, Minix for the most part being the main guy, but obviously Rob gets in there as well, just showing off what they're cooking. And that's stress relief for them, it seems like. Not only is it food eventually, but they legitimately enjoy doing it. And I like to make steaks on cast iron skillets, but I'd probably move outside because I set off the fire alarm every time I make a steak because I got to get it real hot and, make sure it's seared quickly. And I cook a steak in about 6 minutes and it takes about 3 for the stove to send smoke up to the fire alarm. But
do you know what I love doing that I never thought I would love? I love working on my yard. I don't get it, man. I used to hate growing up when I was a teenager, being asked to mow the yard was the worst. And now I'm like, oh my God, my grass is high. I get to go out there, get to edge it. I get to do all of that, work in the garage a little bit, clean it up, make it, make room for the car and all that stuff. Call it Mexican Tetris when you're moving stuff around. I actually really enjoy doing that, man. And I enjoy running. It's so weird. I am 5'7", 5'8". I'm 229 pounds. I'm a tubby dude. But I can run 5-8 miles at a time and not get tired. It's just so weird, but that's a passion. And I'm probably good at that because I am passionate about it. But it's fun to have a hobby. And Carl, you're probably going to develop a hobby in the next 2 or 3 years that you've never done before. Maybe it's photography, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's something, but there's
I am yoga certified and have
There
about
you
12
go.
cameras. So
Okay.
you're going to have to learn more about me on that front because I have plenty of both in my past. Yes, but I haven't gone to a yoga studio since the pandemic, or I have, but
Yeah.
it's a lot less because I figure that's like rolling the dice. Vaccinated, I did go for a little while, but with everything spiking up, I'm sticking back to home stuff for now.
No, man. I'm glad that you do that, man, because it is a different workout, and I'm actually looking forward to that. So we were talking in a meeting earlier today about different things that we can do for the show that are entertaining and that we can bring out there. And I want to do something workout related, man. So I don't know, man. Maybe if there's an influencer or two who wants to show me how to work out, man, reach out to me on Twitter. I'm at Mike ESPN SA. Show me what you're doing. Is there a type of workout that I should be looking at? As other than just lifting weights. Some people might do kickboxing or Krav Maga or whatnot. I've never done any of that. I'd like to see what that is, but reach out to me on Facebook as well, man. That'd be a good time. Maybe we can collab.
Yeah.
That's the way the kids call it, right? They collab these days.
You mentioned influencer. We a couple months back did promoted a wrestling show.
Yeah.
And among the people who worked with the wrestling dojo was Thunder Rosa. And I don't know if you know Thunder Rosa. I don't think she's from San Antonio, but she's based out of San Antonio. She's a professional wrestler. And I helped promote one of her shows 3-4 years ago, and she had 36,000 followers back then. She's up to like 136,000 now. So she's pretty big. Maybe we get you doing some wrestling.
Yeah.
Some wrestling.
I'm probably gonna have to sign some sort of waiver here at Alpha Media saying that if I get hurt, that's on me, but that's what health insurance is for.
Yeah.
But yesterday, the only thing that hurt a little bit was my feelings because the Spurs lost. It was a close game in the first half. Spurs lost to the Knicks last night, 111-96. I was watching that on one TV where I had the national championship on the other TV at the Rue Pub, checking out both games. DeJounte, he did his thing, 24 points. You would think that if the Spurs held Julius Randle to 2 points, that would be a good thing. But RJ Barrett picked up the slack, 31 points for him. Evan Fournier scored 18. This was a rough road trip, man. The Spurs had some high moments, had some low moments, mostly low moments because the Spurs lost more than they won.
They only won the one game.
Yeah, but that was a very, very interesting game. That was a very dramatic game. And then with Brooklyn, with the game against Brooklyn, that was a heartbreaker. Spurs showed a lot of heart in this trip because they were so depleted. Last few games without Devin Vassell and Derek White, without Keldon Johnson, who hopefully they're all coming back. But I'm taking a look at the schedule right now. The Spurs have fallen to 10 games under 500, 15-25. This is the worst they've been under 500 for the entire year. That being said, they're only one game out of the 10th spot in the Western Conference Finals, which gets you into the play-in tournament. This homestand that they have coming up is huge because the Spurs have a 7-game homestand and then 1 game on the road against Houston, another 2 games at home, and then they're on the road at Phoenix, and then 3 games at home. So I'm taking a look at this. Before the rodeo road trip, 12 of the next 14 games for the Spurs are at the AT&T Center. This is where the Spurs have to collect some W's because they have an 8-game rodeo road trip coming up in February. They need to get back on the ball and not get back into the 10th spot, but they need to solidify the 10th spot over the course of the next 2.5 weeks.
And, that I wouldn't say over the course of the next 2 weeks, but just the way this road trip hit them, I can't necessarily say that they're going to perform poorly on the rodeo road trip because we thought that this team turned a corner when they won 3 or 4 on that road trip out West Coast, and then they got hit with COVID, and now they got hit even harder with COVID. So, getting their guys healthy and back in shape might actually be almost the end goal of this 7-game homestand, and then hopefully they're ready to go for the rodeo road trip. But I see where you're getting at.
It feels like the season just started. But we're 40 games in. We're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 82-game season. We're halfway there. We should be at 41, but 1 game got canceled, the Miami Heat game. So taking a look at what's coming up, they have Houston tomorrow That's a winnable game. By the way, tickets still available. You can get them for as low as $7 right now.
Yeah, hopefully more people are back for that game Wednesday.
Houston, they got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then they've got the Clippers. Monday, home against the Phoenix Suns. That's going to be a fun game right there. Then they've got Oklahoma City, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia in this homestand. A healthy Spurs team could go 4-3, 5-2 in that stretch. 4-3 would be good because that would kind of get them back into the 10 spot, maybe get a cushion, a 1 or 2 game cushion at that point. Then they're on the road against Houston, which is a winnable game. Home against Memphis, Chicago, DeMar DeRozan coming back on the 28th. Then they're going back on the road for Phoenix, Golden State, Miami. That's a tough stretch right there. And then Houston again. And then the rodeo road trip begins. Spurs, out of that 12 out of 14 games, a healthy Spurs team, if they come back from COVID, no lingering issues, they can go 8-6.
I thought that this team was at least a 500, probably a little bit better than 500 team healthy, but they just haven't been able to, stay healthy for any real stretch of time this season. They started off early with Jakob and then Jock Landale going into health and safety protocols.
Yeah.
Then DeJounte. As soon as DeJounte gets back, what is it, 4 or 5 guys go on health and safety protocols? So, it's just one of those things where this team has shown that they can improve and they are consistently improving. However, at the end of the day, they're just not going to be able to push anything in towards an actual solid playoff spot. Best thing they can hope is a play-in spot and just stay there at 10. But I want to say it's the Kings, the Pelicans, the Rockets, and I'm blanking on, I think, one more team right there that would be right behind them. They're better than all those teams throughout the rest of the season, unless a unfortunate catastrophic injury happens to DeJounte Murray or something along those lines, that I think the Spurs should be able to finish in that 10 play-in spot. Here it is. Actually, at the moment, Portland is in 10, just barely with one more win and one fewer loss. But Sacramento, New Orleans, Oklahoma City, and Houston, the Spurs should be able to stay ahead of most of them for the rest of the season, and we'll see what happens.
You say should, but the fact of the matter is the Spurs are only half a game above Sacramento, only 1 game above the New Orleans Pelicans, and only 1.5 games above the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's kind of interesting because the Spurs are in that area there where right now the 8th worst team in the NBA according to record, 1 game away from being the 10th spot, 1.5 games away from being the 4th worst record in the NBA. It's just a very weird place that they are. I feel bad for DeJounte Murray because this is kind of messing up his stellar season. On top of that, he came back from COVID protocols thinking, hey, baby, I'm back. They had a big game, big win. And then COVID struck again, and Derek White and Devin Vassell and, all the Keldon Johnson are gone. We're not going to really know how good this team really is because we don't know if they actually turned the corner. They've shown glimpses and flashes of brilliance. They've beaten Milwaukee on the road. They've beaten Golden State on the road. They almost beat Brooklyn on the road. It's just crazy how the season has gone because they play up to the competition. They play down to it. And then on top of it all, beyond this home stretch, beyond the rodeo road trip, we have the trade deadline coming up.
It's less than a month away.
And are the Spurs buyers? Are the Spurs sellers? Can they get anything for Thad Young? What's going to happen to Lonnie Walker? Lonnie Walker, bad game yesterday, but against Brooklyn had a really good game. He seems to level it off. He's a little bit more consistent than he has been in the past, but he's getting the opportunity. So, man, there's so many unanswered questions when it comes to the Spurs that I don't think there's a really good way of any of this playing out perfectly.
Well, like you said, we're only really at the halfway point of the season, and the trade deadline's coming up. If everybody recovers and stays all right, and the Spurs are maybe able to, I don't think that there's much of a point. Maybe top 7 protector, top 5 protect your first-round pick. Go ahead and attach that to Thaddeus Young if it seems like he's going to be on his way out. And, would you maybe make a trade for, let's say,
Miles Turner?
Miles Turner is exactly where I was going with that. Miles Turner for Thaddeus Young. I'm sure you can maybe make the numbers work out if those two don't work out straight up, and include a couple first-round picks because this team is young enough as it is. Getting a vet like a Miles Turner that kind of fits in with the timeline, because I think he's only 25 years old. That would be the missing piece.
And you can send them expiring contracts. It could be Thad Young, Lonnie Walker, the 2025 Bulls pick, and then this year's first-round draft pick, top 5 lottery protected. I would do that all day, every day. And I think the salaries kind of match there because
it's pretty spot
close,
on. I think it's about $3 million difference between Thaddeus and Miles, so it should be.
So Lonnie would fit it.
The real thing is, I think a lot of people are waiting to see how the Ben Simmons thing shakes out, because Ben Simmons is still the prize of the trade market, and maybe Sabonis is going to be somebody out there. So, the trade season's about to heat up. I can't wait for it. And that could be what decides whether or not the Spurs are going to be fighting for a real playoff spot or just a play-in spot.
The Spurs can't do what Danny Ainge did and do nothing. Something needs to happen either on free agency or through the draft. Something needs to happen, because you take a look at Boston, a 500 team with Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That is a travesty right there. That's because they refused to do anything. They just sat there and accumulated assets and did nothing with it. Hey, when we come back Wednesday, tomorrow, it's a fun day. That's movie review day. We're gonna break down the movies that I'm considering to review tomorrow, because I like to review movies that everyone else has seen except for me. But I'm going to tell you which movies are in contention right now. You can actually vote on this on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The short-handed San Antonio Spurs fell to the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden last night, 111-96. Knicks guard R.J. Barrett scored a game-high 31 points to help the winning effort for the Knicks. That game ends a 7-game road trip for San Antonio. The Philadelphia 76ers traveled to the Toyota Center in Houston and defeated the Rockets 111-91. No player for Houston scored more than 14 points in the loss for Houston. The Rockets have now lost 5 of their first 6 games to start 2022. And tonight on ESPN2 is a Big 12 Top 25 NCAA basketball showdown, as the 19th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders will travel to Waco to face the number 1 ranked Baylor Bears with a 6 p.m. tip-off. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance So You Only Pay for What You Need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
How do I know this check's going to clear? Is your money any good? I heard about you guys like that. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. We've already bought $1 billion worth of your used cars in 2021. $1 billion with a B. That means we do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. And our money's good. And our transaction's good. We've got our stuff together. 1,000 to 100 grand. We're all over it. Where? Only at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Deep breath.
Mi's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Joel, I'm committed to getting into shape, working out, exercising every day.
Great idea, little fat buddy.
I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da!
The Row and Go?
It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop! Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes, schools, offices, and buildings stay in tip-top shape. Every plumbing issue, every AC problem, it's our mission to fix them as fast as we can at a fair price. From the penthouse to the outhouse, call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
The Row and Go. It's going to change the way we exercise. And here's my tagline, Row and Go. It's fitness while you do your fitness.
Make it stop.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. That's 651-5899.
License number M13229 TACLA 000743458E.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we review movies on Wednesday. Rudy J was in here earlier today. He said, I better be on the show on Wednesdays because, you know, we alternate hosts from time to time. And Carl has been here with me today, but Rudy likes to come in on Wednesdays. And he says he wants to know what I'm doing tomorrow. And I have a poll out there on Twitter, and I've narrowed it down to 4 movies because, again, these are movies that everyone has seen. Except for me. I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up, apparently. So recently, I did Gremlins, gave it a B+. I did Scarface last week, gave it an A-. I did The Dark Knight, gave it a B+. Some bad reviews along the way. I didn't like The Outsiders, and I didn't like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But right now, I have a poll out asking, should I watch Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, Tombstone, or Poltergeist? Right now, I have 79 votes in on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. And right now, Tombstone is winning 47%, Blood In, Blood Out at 34%. I'm going to keep this poll open for another 30 minutes. And at 1:30, we'll decide exactly which movie. But as of now, it is Tombstone.
I don't even know what Tombstone is.
Apparently, it's a Western starring Val Kilmer. That's all I know about it. And I like Val Kilmer. I like him.
Wouldn't know Val Kilmer if I bumped into him.
Dude, he's Iceman on Top Gun back in the day, man.
Oh, I haven't seen Top Gun. You think you haven't seen movies?
Yeah, but you're 30 years old, man. So I'm 44. I should have already seen a lot of these movies. But we have another hour of halftime to come. Interesting question. Cowboys are playing the 49ers in the playoffs. Wild card weekend this weekend. Is it possible that the 49ers might actually be the better team? Because Vegas is kind of leaning in that direction. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Listeners of the Paul Feinbaum Show come from all parts of the South.
And I live in the mountains.
They're passionate about the SEC.
I've been drinking a little beer this afternoon, and I've got the feeling that we're going to beat Georgia by 3.
They're a rowdy bunch.
Woo! Yeah, Pig, do it!
And they're the most honest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, do like me. I've given up women and turned to porn.
There's nothing like the SEC.
Talk SEC with Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 2 to 4. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is
I know
exponential.
we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, we could try to fill the remaining time with awkward pauses. It's often done for comedic effect. Is it working? I can't tell if this is funny. Maybe this is so bad it's funny. Wow, we really peaked at the save big when you switched to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmett's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today. 571-0318.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosin colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com. Or call 1-800-633-9110.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
That's right. Hour number 2 of halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I love this music.
You like Yin Yang Twins?
I didn't know who it was, but people stop me at the bar from time to time, and they'll tell me, we really like this music.
Yeah, it's the Yin Yang Twins, Halftime.
I got to look that up, man.
The show is called Halftime. Or the song is called Halftime, and the show
now I like
that.
I like this music, but the Kanye West of "Good Morning," that's great in the mornings for R&R.
Yeah, I want to say that's from when Kanye used to be Kanye. Now he's Ye or Yeezus or whatever he goes by nowadays. Yeah, that was good Kanye. I want to say that was from his graduation album. So that's like, I don't know. Back when Kanye was forming a name for himself, when he was beefing with 50 Cent and all that kind of stuff.
Good times, man. Good times. But that's good music, man. That's Pleasure, right? That's all Pleasure right there.
I picked that one.
Oh, you did?
Halftime. Yeah. I picked that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a good job with that.
I want to say either Rudy or Rob picked the Kanye song in the morning. Maybe it was Pledge. The Pledge might get credit for that. We'll have to say. We'll have to hit us up on the comments.
That's awesome, man. That's good music, man. I don't want to get rid of it. We were talking about, if that was going to be rebranded or whatnot. I like the music, though. I don't know, man.
That was the tip-off before every Spurs game during the Tim Duncan era for the most part.
Really?
I'd say.
How do I not know this?
I'd say like 75% that was the tip-off song during Tim Duncan era.
Wow. Well, welcome back to halftime, I reached out to an influencer just right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can do, I guess, what the kids call the collab.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already reached out to an influencer. Want to see if they'd be able to work me out. Give me a 1-hour workout, beat me up, and see if I could survive it.
Good luck.
Yeah. Because there's so many different types of workouts out there, man. I was invited to Orange Theory. Everyone says that they love it. I've never tried it. But, but that's a lot of cycling, and I don't know, man. That's not in my wheelhouse at all. But I've always liked, I drive by. There's a CrossFit in my neighborhood. Obviously, a bunch of Camp Gladiators all around town. But I think that'd be fun to go out there and just try something different every week.
It is interesting. You never really get in condition to master something, so it kind of keeps you on your toes. That's the whole point of like CrossFit. Is that they don't really throw the same thing at you twice.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people do that, but I think the real key is find what you can do consistently.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to collab with some influencers, go ahead. You know who's a personal trainer actually is Spurs Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
Might be able to figure something out there.
Very cool, man.
He'll give you the Spurs Jesus workout.
That is Carl Shoney. Michael Jimenez here. We're here from 12 to 2, talking sports, pop culture, a little working out, nostalgia. Cowboys made the playoffs, baby. They made the playoffs. America's team. How about them Cowboys? And it's been an interesting season because a lot of Cowboy fans, man, they live and die by this team. And I get it, man. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I get it. And I'm going to be honest with you, Carl. I used to be a big-time Cowboy hater.
No, really?
Big-time Cowboys hater. And that was kind of part of the identity for me as a sports fan for many, many years. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I stopped. I stopped being a Cowboy hater because it was one of those things where I didn't want the Cowboys to become the Chicago Cubs or the Boston Red Sox, where they go 50, 60, 70 years without winning a title. And if you think that that's an exaggeration, fact of the matter is the Cowboys are already halfway there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm well aware of the drought of Super Bowl appearances, not even championships.
I mean, the Georgia Bulldogs won the title last night. I think it was the first time in 41 years.
Since 1980.
So, oh my God, why did 41 years to me feel like 1960? That's how old I'm getting. Okay.
That was 2000, not 2022.
Exactly. So it's interesting. So I stopped becoming a Cowboy hater, and now I just want to say that I kind of just, you know, I'm fearful of what the city would turn into if the Cowboys did win the Super Bowl, because, you know, Spurs fans go out there and honk their horns on military and on commerce and stuff like that. Man, if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, San Antonio would shut down, would absolutely shut down for a good 2 days, because Cowboy fans would have like a 30-year bender right here, man, because it's been a long time. I make the joke all the time about Boys to Men was the number one group back when the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl last.
Oh, I'm
And that is-
relishing in this. Give me more.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. But I stopped being a Cowboy hater, and I figured, you know what? As a talk show host, maybe I should be more objective about them and not put my own personal feelings to it. Because when I watch the Cowboys play, I'll be honest with you, I cheer against them. So it's been so weird this year being the one voice of reason here for Cowboys fans, because I am more optimistic about this team than many of their own fans have been. Now, right now, Cowboy fans, after beating up the Eagles backups the other day, are back to being optimistic again. But when the Cowboy fans were the most pessimistic this year, I became the most optimistic about them. It's kind of strange. James Pledger thinks that I pander at that point, and I'm like, no, man, I'm just being objective as a sports fan. So that being said, the Cowboys have the 49ers this week, and it was interesting because I think it would have been easier for them to have beaten the Cardinals, who they lost to a couple of weeks ago, than it is to beat the 49ers, because the 49ers are a tough team. They travel. Not only that, they won on the road against the Rams this past weekend, came from behind, beat them in overtime, which knocked out my Saints from the playoffs. But I digress. But it's weird because when the spreads came out, Vegas kind of knows, man. Vegas knows a lot. And when the spreads came out, the spreads had the Cowboys up by 3, which is Vegas's way of saying this is an even matchup, because you get 3 points for being the home team. So if the spread is 3, that's Vegas saying we think that these are equal competitors out there. Taking a look at the money right now, 53% of the money has been bet on the Cowboys. The spread is still at 3. The weird thing is that the over-under has gone up. It's now at 50.5. I tell you what, though, man, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be low scoring.
I don't know. Why do you think that? They've had the number one offense in the league all year long.
Yeah, I just think that the Cowboys defense is going to show up. That's one thing. And I think that I'm not a big believer in Jimmy G as much as a lot of people are. Now, the running game that the Niners have is very interesting. I don't know, man. There's just something off about the offense with San Francisco for me right now. They've been hot. They've done well this year. But I don't know. I just don't see them rising to the occasion at Jerry World. I think the Cowboys take this game. And no, I'm not pandering. I just think that they do get this game. And I don't even think it's going to be that difficult. I think the Cowboys win this by 2 scores. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy win, but I see the Cowboys winning this game, 27-13, 27-16, somewhere around there.
The Cowboys are very much ratings, and if you're a ratings team, you get picked apart from the critical people in the world, and a lot of them tend to be your own fans. So anytime the Lakers are, doing anything, playing basketball, they're going to be very heavily criticized, even if they're good. And that's the case going on with the Cowboys. Despite them having the number one offense in the league, you wouldn't know that based off of the way they, I got a tweet saying something along the lines of like the left side of that line is their weakest point. And, Zeke's not having a Zeke-like year running the ball. And, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb need to step it up. And Dak Prescott's not running the ball anymore. He could improve on that facet. But at the end of the day, they're still the best offense in the NFL from, week 1 to week 18. So you got to really point at it and say, I hear the criticisms. It's not that they're, unwarranted, but they are a little unwarranted, a little harsh, maybe would be the word, because they're the number one offense, and you got to kind of respect that. That's why Kellen Moore might get a head coaching job.
I'm reading some criticisms right now, and some of it's a little bit harsh on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Just search San Antonio Sports Star, like and subscribe. And hey, what do you think, man? Call us out right now. We're on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines right now, 656 ESPN.
Or call out the Cowboys more specifically.
Exactly. Frank Valdez says, no. Mike is playing both sides. Rudolph Renee on Facebook says, I think you're objective, Mike. Pledger is the hater.
Pledger likes to poke the bear.
He does. I'm not trying to pander. Why would I pander? This is a team that I actively cheer against. When this game is going on, Sunday at 3:30, guess what? Oh, by the way, it's going to be a listener viewing party at Twin Peaks. We'll find out which location it's going to be. It's going to be Sunday. I'll be there. Come watch the game with me. Guess what? I'll be cheering for the Niners. But I think the Cowboys are going to win. It's just a weird thing, man. I'm just being objective, but I am a fan of football, so you got to pick a side, right? You've got to pick a side. I think the Cowboys are going to go to the NFC Championship game. Frank Valdez says the number one offense overrated at least for the boys because at the end of the day, it got them into a wild card game, and it got them the division title at that. Hey.
Yeah, pretty much. Is it overrated, really? Because I would take it.
I just think the Cowboys have a lot of upside. But let's talk about another team, okay? The Cowboys are the 3 seed. The Bucs are the 2 seed. And Coach Bruce Arians said yesterday in an interview that it would be a travesty. The word he used, a travesty, if Tom Brady did not win the MVP award. Now, for so long, everyone's been thinking that this is going to be Aaron Rodgers to win. So I thought it was kind of weird because, Aaron Rodgers led Green Bay to the number 1 seed, the bye in the playoffs this year. So I thought to myself that this is obviously Aaron's award to win. So what do you think about the coach of Tampa Bay coming out and saying that this would be a travesty if somehow Brady didn't win because Brady got 5,000 yards passing, because Brady broke records for most completions? I mean, he had a great season, don't get me wrong, but is it a travesty if he doesn't win?
I don't think it's a travesty, but I get his point. A, it's his quarterback, but B, yeah, you see, if you pay attention to Tom Brady, that he is the best quarterback in the NFL this season because he's doing something that only, I think, Drew Brees in 2018 and Peyton Manning in 2013 did in terms of leading the NFL in the 4 major passing statistical categories of touchdown, passing yards, completions, and attempts. And yeah, that's what you want. You can't really, at least in the NFL, it's a little different in the NBA, but in the NFL, you can't say, okay, who's the best player on the best team? That's your MVP, because it is such a team sport where 15 guys on the defense are a big chunk of whether you win or lose. So it's not like you're playing both ways like a Giannis is or a Michael Jordan would.
No, exactly. And I'm taking a look at the odds right now from Bleacher Report. And it has Aaron Rodgers as minus 500. For those of you who don't gamble, minus 500 means overwhelming favorites.
You need to put 500 down to win 100.
Exactly. An overwhelming favorite. Tom Brady at 4-1. And then they have Cooper Kupp at 20, Joe Burrow at 25, and Jonathan Taylor at 35. Now, because Rodgers is an overwhelming favorite to win the MVP at minus 500, I think it's actually going to be closer because Aaron Rodgers has something going on that Tom Brady doesn't have. There are certain members of the media who cannot stand Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And because of that, the voting is going to be a lot closer than people think.
We've already had a voter out of Chicago say that the MVP is not going to be unanimous if anybody wants to put him on record because he has like 4 guys ahead of Rodgers. And I think Brady's one of them. And Jonathan Taylor might have been one of them as well. This was like 2-3 weeks ago.
No, that guy said Cooper Kupp was going to be his 1.
Kupp.
He said Cooper Kupp was his 1, Jonathan Taylor was 2, and Brady was going to be his 3. But he was going to have Aaron Rodgers off the ballot completely, which is stupid.
That is stupid.
And the reason why was because he was like, oh, well, he lied to people, and he lied to people about his vaccination status. He was a prima donna in the off season. He threatened to retire. He threatened to go to host a game show instead. He was a bad teammate and all of these different things. And they lost a game because he wasn't there. And he was saying that that's not MVP behavior. But the fact of the matter is is that is the quarterback of the number one team in the NFL, man. And that usually gets you that win. I mean, the MVP award is basically a quarterback's award. Cooper Kupp at 20-1. That dude almost had 2,000 yards receiving with 15 touchdowns and over 140 receptions? A ridiculous year. What would Cooper Kupp have had to have done in order to get the MVP award? 2,500 yards? I mean, what is the standard that a running back needs to have to win that award? I mean, it has morphed into a quarterback award. And that being said, did Tom Brady have a great year? Yes, but Aaron Rodgers was just as good. And Aaron Rodgers didn't get shut out by the Saints either. Almost did.
Oh, yeah. Bringing it up. Yeah, but that's the thing about dealing with the wild card of individual emotions. I remember somebody last year or 2 years ago for the NBA voting, it came out that her ballot came out and she did not have Anthony Davis on any All-NBA team. So, just sometimes you forget that these people are humans and they're going to come to their own conclusions, and that's up to them, I guess, to say, hey, I've been given this voting power and I'm going to go this way. But you're right. What does a receiver have to do to win the MVP?
Check this out. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers' stats. He threw for 4,115 yards, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, right? 2 of those interceptions were in week 1, which means the last 15 games, he had no touchdown passes his first game. Past 15 games, 37 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And if you go back in time, the last 7 weeks, 20 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The dude is just ridiculous this year. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, the Super Bowl goes through Green Bay. It goes through Nashville too. Very weird.
So you're saying your vote's to Rodgers. You're making a compelling case for Rodgers. And Arians made a compelling case for Tom Brady. And, that's really where it comes down to who's got the most compelling case. And it'll probably go Rodgers because of the team wins. But can you really say that Tampa Bay is, significantly better of a team when you just look at the offensive side of the ball?
I think Arians does this because he knows it's going to be a close vote.
That's true.
There's a groundswell there.
About it.
There's a groundswell there where people are like, wait a minute. That guy from Chicago said he's going to leave Rodgers off the ballot. How many others are like that? And it's an interesting topic because we don't know.
But Rodgers lied to us. So, as media, we take things personally sometimes.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's probably the case for a lot of them because that's a yes or no question. Are you vaccinated? And he said yes.
I wouldn't be upset if Brady won, okay? But I would be upset if Brady won because people are like saying, oh, it's because Rodgers was unvaccinated. That's wrong. Because it has to happen with what happened on the field. On the field, both were elite, but one can't be punished because one got the jab and the other one didn't, man. I am vaccinated myself, but man, that's a personal decision for a lot of people, man. So it just is what it is. But let's get some headlines in. Carl, 411 in the 210.
In the 210. Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin says he fell asleep before the team clinched the playoff spot as the rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the edge of their seats watching the Chargers-Raiders game late Sunday night. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin was soundly asleep. Tomlin admitted that he didn't see the game-winning overtime field goal by Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson that ultimately sent his team to the playoffs. I dozed off, Tomlin said Tuesday. I know I had a workday waiting on me, or I assumed that I had a workday waiting on me. I think at one point the Raiders were up 15, and that number made you feel somewhat comfortable. I'm probably better off now not having have watched it.
I don't believe it at all. Yeah, man, that guy right there, Pinocchio City right there, his nose is growing. Everyone was watching that. You're telling me that no one in his family woke him up to tell him what was going on? Are you telling me that his phone was not blowing up with text messages and phone calls, that he was just kind of secluded? He turned everything off? I don't buy it at all. Put him on a polygraph. He'd fail it.
Headline 1.
Free agent running back Adrian Peterson wants to continue his NFL career next season. After a talk with Pete Carroll, Adrian Peterson has started to consider a post-playing career in coaching. For now, though, the 36-year-old running back plans to continue his Hall of Fame career in 2022. Peterson finished his 15th NFL season on the injured reserve list with the Seattle Seahawks, who closed out 7-10 on the season with a win over the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. Peterson joined their practice squad early in December and played one game before injuring his back.
Adrian Peterson just 82 yards away from 15,000 for his career. 120 touchdowns in his career. Amazing career that he's had. I don't mind it because he wasn't exactly washed up when he left. He had some skills still available there. He's not the back that he used to be, but at least he's not garbage out there. I would much rather him come back to try to play football compared to what Frank Gore did when he tried boxing, ended up getting his butt kicked. So no, man, I'd be okay with Peterson coming back. You know, he's still a really healthy guy. He never really had too many major injuries. So I like him. I'm a big fan of Adrian Peterson, a fantasy god for many, many years.
Headline 0.
The Denver Broncos want to interview Dan Quinn, Kellen Moore, and Eric Bieniemy for their vacant head coaching job. And Quinn's name also just recently came up in the Chicago Bears hunt for their new head coach. Can the Cowboys retain their coordinators? And what do they do if they have to lose both?
Well, I don't think they're going to lose both. I mean, Kellen Moore, I think it's intriguing that these teams want to interview him, but I cannot see a team giving him the keys to the car just yet. I really don't. Because look at what he has to work with him. He has Dak, Zeke, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Amari Cooper, Jarwin, Schultz, Zach Martin. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that offense is good for a reason. It's because they have the personnel there. So if he's going to go off and become a head coach at a team that is 3-14 or 5-12, he's not going to be able to duplicate it. But what does travel, what does move is Quinn when it comes to matters of defense, a culture when it comes to defense, when it comes to drafting certain players. I think Dan Quinn's gone, man. I think he's a goner because he has the experience. If he wants a head coaching position, he can get a head coaching position. He has that clout. He has that track record. What would happen if both were gone? That'd be very, very, very difficult to recover from. But I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I'm for it if that's what happens. You know, that's part of being successful is you're going to have some of your considered keys to success, in this case, the coordinators, taken away from you for better gigs. So, you know, good luck to them if that's what they so choose. But I agree with you about Kellen Moore. But at the same time, see what he did with those weapons. So, you know, if you're going to say we know that you're not going to be able to replicate that, however, we want you to just turn around a last place offense,
right?
Then, yeah, that's probably why they're looking at Kellen Moore. So, you know, sometimes coaching is you have good players, but it's making sure that those players are used correctly.
Exactly. I think Kellen Moore needs about 2 more years, and then he can jump off.
Okay.
That's the 411 and a 210.
I'm sure Jerry would love to open up his pocketbook and see what he can do to pay those guys and keep them around.
And isn't that why they take the interviews?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, man, you know, you compete, right? I mean, why not? But, man, when we come back, let's talk about some movies, man, because Spider-Man, you've seen the new Spider-Man movie, right?
Twice.
It is going digital. The release date has been announced. We're going to talk about that when you can watch it at home. And on top of that, I want to know more about Carl and his movie viewing habits. What are the movies he's seen the most in his entire life? And on top of that, we're going to have the finals to the poll question out there as to which movie I should review tomorrow. Tombstone, Blood In, Blood Out. Those are the 2 big competitors there. You can still vote on Twitter at ESPN, at Mike ESPN SA. This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Omicron has caused games to be postponed, stopped, and rescheduled. The NBA, NHL, NFL, and college hoops have all been affected by Omicron, leaving us fans high and dry.
It's unfortunate to say the least. You don't know one day to the next what's going to happen.
Will the leagues continue to shut down players and play? Stay connected and talk about it here.
I hate masks, so we'll see how that goes.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I need to be able to work from anywhere. So I need to have supplies, everywhere.
It's possible at Staples.
I need the same setup for my home as I have at the office, without twice the cost.
Also possible, because your local Staples store has the tools your business needs to get work done. Now get 40% back in a Staples store bonus when you buy any 2 ink or toner cartridges. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/15, limit 2 in-store only. See staplesconnect.com/store bonus for details.
Hi, everyone. Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats here. When you bring a package of our smoked sausage home, keep it simple. It's handcrafted in small batches and fully cooked, so you can just heat it up and enjoy. My favorite way to eat it is on a bun with mustard or wrapped in a tortilla. Try some from a store near you today, and if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock Ontario.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Want to get out of your dead-end job, but think you don't have time? Think again. Now you can complete the My Computer Career Evening program in 30 weeks, almost 30% shorter. You could start your new life as an IT pro in months, not years. More than just a school, My Computer Career helps you get into the industry by working with employers that have hired our students. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
All used cars are not the same. At Give Me the VIN, we pay more for the clean ones. You got a nice one that's nicer than everybody else's? Go to GiveMeTheVIN.com, load it up. I'll pay you more. If it's normal, we'll pay you the top of normal. If it's crappy, we'll pay you the top of crappy. But we do understand the difference at GiveMeTheVIN.com, and we can price them both. But we're America's best car buyer because we bought $1 billion of cars in 2021. Only at
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
If you were hurt in a crash, it's important to act fast. Instead of haggling with insurance, just call Thomas J. Henry. Remember, the call is free and you don't pay us any fees unless we win your case. Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim now. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Red 80! Broadcasting live from the 50-yard line. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name is Michael Jimenez, joined by Carl Shoney. We talk sports, pop culture, nostalgia here. Spider-Man: No Way Home. You've seen it twice.
Once in the IMAX and once like the first show I could, like Thursday at 3 p.m. when it came out.
Okay, so tell me about the IMAX experience, man. I haven't been to an IMAX theater in a long time. Is that like that massive screen? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think the big draw on it is that they're bigger screens than normal. And in this particular case, I went to the Bob Bullock Museum in Austin, which is the biggest screen in Texas.
Wow. So what was it like watching it there compared to, a regular Santikos type of thing?
Not that much different. You go in and you're in awe of how big it is. So it is definitely bigger. And I've just seen so many movies on that big screen. And I don't think that it's significantly bigger, even though it's probably like twice, 3 times the size of a normal movie theater screen.
But it wasn't better or worse?
No, things have gotten so good these days that I don't think there's too much of a difference. Because IMAX cameras are like $1 million cameras that are like 24K and all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous.
Do you like the movie theaters where they have like you could feel the wind and the seats vibrate and stuff like that? Do you like that type of movie experience?
I want to say I've never seen wind, and I don't mind the vibrating seats, but I don't actively seek it out, and I'm definitely not going to pay extra for it.
My wife and I like going to the movies, right? But it's so weird because it used to be where I would just go to a Santikos theater, and I still go to Santikos theaters, don't get me wrong. Casablanca is where I typically go when I do a Santikos movie. But that's where you go over there and you get a popcorn, get a soda. That's one way of watching the movies. But the other way is to like eat while you're there, like Alamo Draft House or Flicks or those types of places. And man, that gets to be expensive. But I will say this though, the food quality is getting better and better. And it's just so weird. I go to the movies now and it's like it used to be, get 4 tickets for $40 and then get popcorn and whatnot, and you'd be out the door for like $65-$70. Now the experience for me and a family of 4 with lunch, popcorn and whatnot, it's about $120 now.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Well, like these days, it's about $15 a piece for tickets. So you're $30 just getting into the door. And then, I want to say I go to Evo, which has a waiter that can come take your order and that kind of stuff. And I'll always have like a beer, and that's like an $8 beer. So then, I'll probably have 2. So yeah, we're probably talking somewhere about $100 just for me and my girlfriend Bianca to go with me. So yeah, we get like a couple meals. Yeah, it adds up.
Absolutely crazy, which is why for some people, they prefer to watch movies at home. So this past weekend, my kids wanted to watch the Clifford movie. Right? Which is at the theaters.
The Big Red Dog?
Yeah, the Big Red Dog. It was a really cute movie. So for those of you who have kids and want to watch a movie with them and not be bored to tears, that was a good movie. And I saw Sing 2 the other day. Both very good. Oh my God, Sing 2 has Halsey. Her voice in there. Oh my God, I love her. Celebrity crush #1 right there. But going back to it, some people like watching movies at home. The Spider-Man No Way Home, which I've seen at the theaters, is going to be released digitally on February 28th. So we're about 6 weeks away from being able to watch this at home. And you can get it like on Vudu or on Amazon, different places like that. I'm sure.
I probably use Google mostly. I think YouTube is where I have Far From Home.
Yeah.
I have the second one of the Homecoming series. I don't own Homecoming, but I don't know. I think Starz has the rights to Spider-Man and Sony properties like that. So I don't have Starz streaming. So I do have to buy these if I want to watch them on demand.
And it's weird what's going on these days with movies as to how they're being released, because I was reading an article yesterday saying that Matt Damon's movie Stillwater, which was basically a flop at the theaters, is doing exceptionally well on Netflix and places like that. And it's like it gives them a second life. And now there's some movie theaters out there, not theaters, studios, that are preventing certain movies from going to the theaters if they think they're going to be a dud. They'll send them straight to Netflix or to Hulu or whatnot, and will release the rights because they don't want to have a dud at the theaters. Man, it's a weird world that we're living in. But I wish I could go back in time and watch certain movies at the theater that I never did. because, like, I'll give you an example, and sometimes they'll go to some places like Alamo Drafthouse. I know Flix does this where they'll show like an old movie that's 25, 30, 40 years old, and they'll bring it back for like the week. I saw Flix recently did Dirty Dancing, and they recently did Gremlins and stuff like that. And I might want to check that out. But man, like one of my favorite movies of all time is Shawshank Redemption. And I can imagine the experience of watching that at the theater. But I've seen it so many times on TV. I wonder if I would get something new out of it.
You know, one of my favorite movies is Blazing Saddles, and I obviously was far from seeing that in person
Yeah.
at the movie theater. But then I did finally see it at a movie theater at one of those Alamo draft houses.
Yeah.
And, you know, there isn't really anything new you notice. Although for me, seeing a movie from, I think it's the 70s when Blazing Saddles came out,
Yeah.
you notice how it is in a studio. It's not outside any. The scenes that are outside are all in a studio done on what I guess they set up out there back in those times, as opposed to, you know, maybe using a green screen nowadays or actually going out to the location and site. I guess it's too hard with all the wind to deal with the mics and that kind of stuff.
I can see that.
Yeah, but that was something I noticed when I finally saw Blazing Saddles on the big screen, was that the production was done so much differently, where they actually had to create the set.
I'm always fascinated by what movie people have seen the most. So if you're following along on Facebook Live or on YouTube, what movie have you seen the most? Because if I had to break down mine, I would say that my most watched movies of all time, like if I had like a Spotify counter of some sort of my lifetime, I'm gonna say that it's Shawshank Redemption, Field of Dreams. I've probably seen Fight Club more than I should have. I mean, several dozens of times. Swingers, I've seen a lot. The Hangover, and I have probably seen Back to the Future over 100 times.
Back to the Future, I've seen a lot. Probably Space Jam, the original.
Really?
With Michael Jordan. That was good. You know, there's plenty of Marvel movies I've probably seen way too many times, like Endgame or Infinity War. I really liked both of those. Movies that I've probably seen a whole lot since I was a little kid. I don't know how little I was, but since I was a kid at least. Blazing Saddles and My Cousin Vinny.
Dude,
I've probably seen them a million times.
My Cousin Vinny is so good, man. Marissa Tomei, who's in Spider-Man No Way Home, is still ridiculously attractive. She's beautiful. That is one smoking hot woman. And she's so talented.
And she's almost 60.
Yeah.
She's like 57.
Yeah, and I love all her movies. She was recently in that movie with Pete Davidson and Bill Burr, The King of Staten Island, which was really, really good. She played Pete Davidson's mom in that movie. But people are reaching out to us. Vinny Segovia says Goodfellas is one of his favorite movies that he has seen the most. I've seen that a lot. I've seen Goodfellas. It's a really, really good movie. Mario Cavazos, Weird Science. Dude, speaking of Val Kilmer, Weird Science, what a great movie.
I haven't heard of it.
Now, wait, I want to make sure. Weird Science. I want to make sure that's the Val Kilmer one. Let me see here. No, or is that the one with Anthony Michael Hall? So Weird Science might be the one with Anthony Michael Hall. It is. Okay, so that's the one with Kelly LeBrock. And basically they use a computer and a Barbie doll to create their dream woman, who magically appears because of this magic and weather patterns or whatnot. I'm going back in time, but she magically appears. So they create the perfect woman, their version of the perfect woman. And she basically introduces she wreaks havoc on their lives. That's a good time. I'm thinking of a Val Kilmer movie called Real Genius, which is where he plays a college student who's basically a genius, and he's with other geniuses out there, and they do not realize that they're creating a government weapon. They thought they were just doing research, but actually it's a government weapon. Now, it's a good movie back in the day. Hey, tomorrow's movie review day. And again, I review movies that everyone has seen, but I did not see growing up. Recently, I did Indiana Jones. I did Gremlins, E.T. So fun, man. I got to see these movies for the first time last month. Last week, I did Scarface. gave it an A-. So I had to ask people, and we have about 80 people who have voted on this. So it appears that my wife and I tonight are watching Tombstone, which is a country, or I guess a Western, I guess you could say a modern Western.
People have already reached out to us on Twitter saying we need to watch Tombstone. So I will see what I can do. Do you know what service it's on?
I don't, but I mean, I have basically everything. And if I can't find it, I'll just do it on Amazon Prime. Someone says Blue Chips. That was a good movie. That was Shaq, right? Nick Nolte back in the day.
Yeah, Shaq played a limited role in it, but I think I saw it because of Shaq, and I was too young to understand how dense Blue Chips was. Like, it was kind of talking about the competitive college basketball race of the 90s where shady things were going down, and everybody knows about those shady things. If I remember, but I haven't seen Blue Chips in forever.
Okay, so Ronald Schmicka says Tombstone has too long of a runtime because I complained about Scarface, okay, because although I did grade it an A-, it was 2 hours and 51 minutes long.
Get an intermission in there?
I know, because I told my wife, let's fire it up. It was 10 o'clock at night. It was 1 a.m. by the time I finished because I had to pause it to go get snacks. I had to go to the bathroom, all of this different stuff going on. I was like, it's 1 a.m. Taking a look at Tombstone. It's 2 hours and 14 minutes. Fine.
That's doable.
That's doable. I think the new rule is 2.5 hours tops, man. I can't do that. Going to a movie that's 3 hours long. I one time went to a comedy show. Jay Moore was in concert. Now, from Jay Moore Sports, and he had that one talk show back in the day. Loved it. But he was out on stage one time for 3 hours doing comedy. And it was great for an hour. And then about 2 hours in, I was like, man, can't believe we were witness to a 2-hour show. That's amazing. And when hour number 3 was coming up, I was like, is this guy ever going to get off the stage?
Sometimes people got things to say.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home, man. So good times, man. Good times. Do you do comedy shows?
I enjoy comedy, and I even briefly thought about being a stand-up comic, but the thought process of having to constantly make jokes is maddening.
Well, we do have a resident stand-up comedian on our staff, Quinn Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian. And in fact, tomorrow is Wednesday, so he will be on with our show tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That's what we designate that time for him because he is the voice of a Dallas Cowboy fan, the diehard. Because again, I have faith in the Cowboys going to the NFC Championship game, but I'm not a fan. So I want to give some time to a Cowboy fan, and that is Quinn Hudson tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But this is halftime. We're going to put a bow on the show on the other side. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Sunday, the Cowboys are digging for a win against the 49ers. Pre-game 2:30, kickoff 3:30, live from AT&T Stadium on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The short-handed San Antonio Spurs fell to the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden last night, 111-96. Knicks guard R.J. Barrett scored a game-high 31 points to help the winning effort for the Knicks. That game ends a 7-game road trip for San Antonio. The Philadelphia 76ers traveled to the Toyota Center in Houston and defeated the Rockets 111-91. No player for Houston scored more than 14 points in the loss for Houston. The Rockets have now lost 5 of their first 6 games to start 2022. And tonight on ESPN2 is a Big 12 Top 25 NCAA basketball showdown as the 19th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders will travel to Waco to face the number 1 ranked Baylor Bears with a 6 p.m. tip-off. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
What are your 2022 business goals? Simplified IT? More security? Dell Technologies has the expertise to help you, from transforming your digital workspaces to providing comprehensive end-to-end IT solutions. Get high-performance computers featuring Windows 11 Pro with powerful hardware-based security and savings up to 45% during Dell's New Year event sale. Get special financing through Dell Financial Services. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Introducing Venture X, Capital One's new travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Viva Fitness! Fiesta Fit Fest is coming to San Antonio, April 8th through the 10th. Get geared up to party and celebrate all things fitness. Headlined by Letap San Antonio, a Tour de France cycling event. Cyclists of all ages. The Letap San Antonio, presented by HEB, is for you. Celebrate the only Tour de France amateur cycling event in the U.S. in 2022. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Sponsored by HEB, Thomas J. Henry, Michelob Ultra, Valero, University Health, and Expel.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Joel, I'm committed to getting into shape, working out, exercising every day.
Great idea, little fat buddy.
I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da!
The Row and Go?
It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes, schools, offices, and buildings stay in tip-top shape. Every plumbing issue, every AC problem, it's our mission to fix them as fast as we can at a fair price. From the penthouse to the outhouse, call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
The Row and Go. It's going to change the way we exercise. And here's my tagline, Row and Go. It's fitness while you do your fitness.
Make it stop.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. That's 651-5899.
License number M13229 TACLA 000743458E.
Before you fire up that grill, you know you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market is locally owned and full service. They have everything you need: beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. They have great weekly specials, and of course, their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. They have 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener. Check out their website. That's tricountymeat.com.
My name is Sue. I'm 58 and I work with kindergartners. I've been overweight all my life. Over the years, my weight led to high cholesterol, joint pain, and body aches. Getting up and down with kids was hard. I couldn't sit on the floor without finding something to help me up. Once I got up, hip pain would prevent me from walking normally. I had heard the Institute for Functional Health commercials for a long time and thought, maybe this will help me. I called and met with Dr. Torres and immediately liked him. He was very personable. I can't explain it, but something finally clicked inside me. After being on his program, I lost 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I feel comfortable and I'm proud of myself. My husband and I have been married 25 years, and I'm now thinner than the day we met. My blood work is optimal, I'm active, better at my job, and I feel in control of my health. This has truly changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
It's drive and determination.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
It's magic and mayhem.
Long three is good.
We've got NBA action live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm so happy right now. Carl, sometimes you make me laugh out of nowhere. Please repeat what you just told me. You took advantage of Google Images right now.
I actually use IMDb.
Okay.
We were talking about movies, and somebody said that there was an 80s movie called Weird Science. Then there was a quest to create the perfect woman. So I'm like, okay, what was the ideal, perfect woman for 1985 when this movie was made? And, I don't know the name of the actress, but I get why she was picked.
That was Kelly LeBrock, man. She was quite popular in the mid 80s, man. So good time. She was now she was no Farrah Fawcett. Like a lot of guys say that they had Farrah Fawcett photos, or Heather Thomas, or Heather Locklear. She wasn't that big, but she was kind of tier 2 when it came to all that. But a little bit before my time, though, because in 85, I was 8 years old. But I did see that movie, and I will be watching Tombstone tonight, giving that review tomorrow at 1:30. So much fun watching these movies, man. Absolutely a lot of fun. But this has been a good show, man. I've enjoyed it. Georgia won the title. Spurs, big home stretch, 7 games in a row at home. Those tickets, again, going for just $6 to $7 in some cases. Yeah, they're nosebleeds, but hey, you can go out to the AT&T and support the team. But man, wish me luck tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Urologist. I will be at the urologist tomorrow at 8:30. All I ask of this doctor who sees me, be gentle. This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We'll see you tomorrow.
I can't wait to watch you guys play!
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go!
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
Let's go!